Have you ever cast a magical spell on your prospects to make your offer absolutely irresistible to them? I've seen it happen. You put an order button in front of a prospect and they get drawn to it like a moth to a flame. It's like they're hypnotized. They can't help themselves. Suddenly, their credit card is out and they're buying the offer, the upsell, the cross-sell, everything. They go so crazy, you could probably sell them sand when they're in the middle of the desert. You'd swear it's magic. Of course, magical spells don't really exist. You can't put on a wizard's hat and mix up a kettle of Eye of Newt and Tail of Lizard to make money. But you know what works even better than a magical spell? Just this. Learning how to write smokin' hot sales copy. Think about it. Pretty much any millionaire and billionaire on the planet owes their wealth to kick-ass sales copy. Seriously, how else do you think people are able to become rich selling things like pet rocks? It's all about the good sales copy. Or how about all those people who are totally shattering sales records selling products that are nowhere near as good as your products? Yep, it's all about the copy. And once you know the secrets of writing good copy, you too can start seeing some eye-popping conversion rates. Now here's the good news. You're about to find out exactly how much extra money good sales copy pushes into your bank account. That's because you're about to get your hands on a set of 10 training videos that gives you a crash course in writing cash-pulling sales copy. If you have a great product but the sales aren't coming in, better copy is the answer to making more money. If you have traffic but very few sales, better copy is the answer to making more money. If you want to build a bigger list, get more people opening your emails, and get more clicks on your links, then yep, better copy is the surefire solution. How can I be so sure? Because this course was developed by two of the net's top marketers. These guys have deposited multiple millions of dollars into their bank accounts over the years. And one of the reasons they're so successful is because they know how to write copy that could charm the pants off of just about anyone. And now they're ready to share their secrets of writing killer copy with you. So let me give you a sneak peek inside these 10 copywriting videos and how you can use these strategies to turn your business around starting as soon as today. First up, you'll find out how writing good copy can really boost your business profits this year. This video gives you two important yet widely overlooked keys to writing great copy. Plus, you'll find out the secret sauce that drives sales. If you're looking to make more profits, then you'll want to watch this video right away. Next, you'll find out how to write captivating, cash-pulling headlines. Listen up. Did you know your headline is the most important part of your sales copy? After all, no one will even read the rest of your sales letter if your headline totally stinks. But we can fix a stinking headline fast. Inside this video, you'll discover the 3 components of a good headline. Plus, you'll find out how to combine these factors for maximum cash-pulling effect. Next, we'll take a look at crafting compelling sales letter openers. Your prospects just graciously granted you a few extra seconds of their time. Can you hold their attention and interest with your sales letter opener? Most people can't, which is why this video shows you the 2 best ways to keep your prospects' eyes glued to your sales page. Now once you have their attention, then you'll need to learn how to create irresistible benefit statements. Your prospects are always thinking, so? Who cares? What's in it for me? Your sales letter needs to answer these questions or your offer will be dead in the water. So here's the scoop. Crafting emotionally driven, curiosity-arousing benefit statements is the key to making your prospects really want your product. And this video shows you the right way to brainstorm, develop, and showcase these benefits for maximum conversions. But you still don't quite have the sale just yet. That's why the next thing you'll find out how to do is create sales record-shattering CTAs. If closing the sale was as easy as dropping an order button in front of your prospects, we'd all be rich. But it turns out the key to really ramping up sales is by using a 2-part call to action. So what are these 2 parts? That's what you'll discover inside this video, so don't miss it. Another thing you'll discover is how to write a slick risk reversal. You see, no matter how fantastic your offer sounds to your prospect, he's still got that niggling voice in the back of his head saying, this totally won't work for me. And if that voice is loud enough, you're going to lose a sale. That's why you need to reverse the risk by offering a guarantee. This video shows you the 3 keys to crafting a guarantee that actually boosts conversions and reduces refunds. Surprising, but true. Just wait till you see it. Now here's something else that may surprise you. Your prospects think you're lying. Seriously, if your prospects were 6 years old, they'd be skipping around you while chanting liar, liar, pants on fire. But since they're adults, they just avoid your buy button like the plague. That's why you'll find out how to overcome this common problem and get your sales flowing again. Next up, you'll also discover the conversion boosting power of a PS. Check this out. Did you know your PS is one of the most read parts of your sales letter? That means a good PS can get prospects scrambling like crazy to your order button. And inside this eye-opening video, you'll discover 5 super effective ways to craft a response-boosting PS. You'll also find out that very good things can come in small packages. Here's the deal. Plenty of people are kicking their long sales copy to the curb in favor of high-converting short-form copy. So this should set your mind abuzz with questions. Will it work for you? What are the secrets of writing effective short-form copy? You'll learn the answers to these questions and more inside this training series. Finally, you'll also get an inside look at this whole video sales letter trend. Spoiler alert, if you don't have a video on your sales page, you may be leaving a whole pile of cash on the table. That's why you'll find out the 4 keys to creating high-converting video sales letters that outperform text-only sales pages. So listen, this really is the bottom line. If you want to make a whole lot more money with your business, then you need to learn these secrets of writing great sales copy. You can only get so far with good traffic, a great product, and your dashing good looks. Taking your business to the next level is all about writing great sales copy. And this video set is exactly what you need to get started. Best of all, we've got a super low price going on these videos if you act right now. I can't promise this low price will still be available if you hem and haw and hesitate. What I can promise is that you'll continue to leave a whole lot of money on the table and lose tons of sales if you don't whip your sales copy into shape. So why wait? Grab these videos right now by clicking the button below, because this is a great way to kick your sales and cash flow into high gear. Here's something totally bizarre. I've seen so many small business owners who've totally rocked just about every part of their business. I mean, these guys study marketing, branding, traffic generation, and almost everything else they need to generate big profits. But there's one huge piece so many of them overlook. What is it? It's copywriting. In other words, they don't learn how to write persuasive sales copy. Some of these guys are darn good writers. I mean, they can tell a story right alongside Stephen King. They can turn out a blog post that's so grammatically correct their old high school English teacher is about ready to pin a medal on them. But here's the thing. Good writing isn't necessarily good sales writing. And good sales writing is where the big profits lay hidden in your business. You see, sales writing isn't about creating content that's grammatically correct. Instead, it's all about creating persuasive content that leads people to take a specific action, such as join your list, share your content, or purchase a product. I mean, you could write beautiful Shakespearean-like prose for your sales letter, but that's not going to drum up any sales. That's why you need to discover the art and science of writing irresistible, cash-pulling copy. And that's exactly what you're going to do starting right now. So let me give you a quick overview of this whole copywriting thing. The very first thing you need to understand is how to profile your target market. In other words, don't even think of writing a single word of copy until you understand your target market and what it is they want. For example, imagine you owned a car dealership and a woman walks in looking for a car. You decide to play Magic Mind Reader and guess what she wants. So you bring her over to a 2-seater sports car. She makes a face at you and leaves the building. Turns out, this woman is a soccer mom who's looking for a minivan for chauffeuring the kids around. She wouldn't buy a 2-seater sports car if you were practically giving it away. Simply put, it's not what she wants or needs. Likewise, you shouldn't play Magical Mind Reader with your market either, or you're going to be super disappointed with your sales numbers. So what you need to do is get out into your market and learn absolutely everything you can about them. Find out their gender, age, income, where they live, what they want, what problems they have, what solutions they're currently using, their fears, and anything else you can dig up. How do you do this? Well, you can get some of this information by doing your standard market research, but you'll get a whole lot more information by just becoming part of the target market for a while. Do what they do. Use the products they're using. Hang out and visit with them on niche forums, Facebook groups, and at offline gatherings. Find out everything you can about them, because that is one of the biggest keys to writing good sales copy that really connects with the audience. The second thing you need to understand is that good copy needs to elicit emotion. You do this by focusing on benefits, telling stories, empathizing with your prospects, reminding them of their pain, and showing them the joy of the solution. Here's a key I want you to keep in mind. People make their buying decision based on emotion, and then they justify this decision with logic. So you need to push their emotional buttons and whip them into a buying frenzy. Then, once you do that, toss a few logical justifications their way. For example, people buy a Rolex watch because it makes them feel powerful, wealthy, sophisticated, and respected. It's these feelings that push them towards the buying decision. But they still need a little logical justification, which is why Rolex reminds prospects that these watches are precision timekeeping machines. Got it? Now, before I leave you, let me tell you a bit about the typical structure of a sales letter. You may have heard of the copywriting acronym AIDA, or AIDA, which stands for Attention, Interest, Desire, and Action. That's the basic formula for writing a good sales piece. First, you create attention using a benefit-driven or even curiosity-arousing headline and subheadline. Once your audience is hooked, then you hold their attention with your sales letter opener. This is all about telling a story to engage the reader, empathizing with them, and so on. Once you have their interest, then you introduce your solution. And this is the third part of the AIDA formula, which is desire. Now you increase your prospect's desire for your product or solution. You do this in multiple ways, including listing all the benefits of your product, offering proof of your claims, such as testimonials, and using risk reversal, such as a guarantee. See how that works? Now the last part of the AIDA formula is action. Now that you have your prospects all excited about your product, you need to give them a way to buy it. This is where you put a call to action, which is specifically telling them exactly what you want them to do next. For example, click here to buy now, but hurry, this special offer ends soon. We'll be talking about all these pieces of the AIDA formula elsewhere. For now, I just want you to be aware of the general structure of a sales letter. There's one more thing to keep in mind. Copywriting expert Joseph Sugarman of Blue Blocker Sunglasses fame says that a sales letter is like a slippery slide. Every word and every sentence is designed to push your reader or listener towards the next word and the next sentence. You want to keep your copy so engaging that your reader makes it all the way down to your order button, and then they click it. That's the goal. That's it for this time. Take a look at the recommended resources section on this website where you'll find advanced training as well as tools you can use to improve your copy. Some people who are new to writing copy sometimes slap a headline on their sales letter or ad, almost as an afterthought. It's like they're thinking, it's only a few words. No use wasting too much time on this. Whoa, back up the truck. Your headline is actually the most important part of your entire sales letter or ad. That's because if your headline totally stinks, then no one is even going to bother reading your email, sales letter, ad, or other content piece. A bad headline is like putting a candle in a dark room and then not even lighting the wick. No one is going to see it or pay attention to it. You see, a good headline gets attention. And trust me, this is no easy cakewalk. Your market is noisy. Everyone and their brother is trying to get your market's attention. Your prospects are getting a steady barrage of ads being shoved in their face around the clock. They see them online, on TV, in every magazine and newspaper, on the radio, in their email, before YouTube videos, on their favorite blogs, on billboards, on trucks, everywhere. So that's why you need a strong headline that captures attention. So how do you do that? Well, there are 3 components that work really well to create an awesome headline. The first component is to name the prospect or somehow get them to realize you're talking to them. Here's the point. When someone lands on your sales page, you just have a fraction of a second to grab their attention. If they don't immediately get that you're talking to them, they'll leave the page. So you need to create a headline that makes it glaringly obvious who this sales page is for. Let me make a quick side note here. You might do this within the headline itself, or you might do it in the pre-headline at the top of the page. If you don't do it in the headline area, then be sure to do it in the salutation at the top of your sales letter. This is the dear friend part of the letter. Except instead of using the word friend, you'd say something like, dear aspiring novelist. Okay, so let me give you some examples of phrases that help the target market self-identify. One way to do it is to just shout out the market. For example, hey football fans. Another way to do it is to ask a self-identifying question. For example, do you suffer from watery, itchy eyes in the spring? Another way to do it is to make a statement or ask a question related to the solution. For example, who else wants to lose weight and fit into their skinny jeans again? So you get the idea. You just need to make it clear who should keep reading. The second component of a good headline is to put your biggest benefits front and center. Now is not the time to be coy. Pull out the biggest benefits of your product, the ones that your market cares about the most, and include them in your headline. For example, if your market desperately wants to lose weight fast, and that's something your product delivers, then put it in your headline. Like this: "At last, here's a super fast and easy way for you to get lean, turn heads, and look hotter than ever." By the way, notice how the headline pushes an emotional button? That's by design. It's not some sterilized, boring headline that states the facts. Instead, it states the benefits in a way that appeals to the prospect's emotions. It gets people thinking about how good it will feel to look so hot that they attract a ton of positive attention. Next up, the third component of a headline is to arouse curiosity. This is optional. That's because it doesn't always work to create curiosity. But if you can arouse curiosity, then it's a great way to create interest. That's because the only way for your prospect to satisfy their curiosity is to keep reading. So how do you do this? One way is to tell the prospect all the wonderful benefits they'll get, but make them curious about how it's possible. For example, most people who need to diet know they'll feel hungry at times, they'll feel deprived, and they're going to have to do some exercise. So imagine a headline like this: "Discover the shockingly easy way you can lose weight without hunger pangs, without feeling deprived, and without spending sweaty hours in the gym." See how that kind of headline can arouse curiosity? Sometimes you can arouse curiosity simply by adding in some trigger words that naturally induce it. These words include secrets, revealed, discover, and similar words. While we're on the subject, take note that there are a whole lot of other words that can really capture attention and are pretty powerful when you use them the right way in your headlines. These other trigger words include you, free, guaranteed, amazing, revolutionary, new, scientific, proven, how to, fast, quick, easy, best, and find out. Let me give you an example headline with trigger words included. Now you too can discover the secrets of quickly and easily losing weight and feeling 10 years younger. Another example. Amazing discovery triples 2 marketers' conversion rates. Now you can find out their secrets for yourself. Now before I go, let me leave you with one last headline writing tip, and that is to study successful headlines. When you see a headline that grabs your attention, clip it, copy it, or otherwise save it. This is especially true if you're seeing this headline on a proven ad. Then reverse engineer that sucker to see what makes it so enticing. Pretty soon you'll have a big headline swipe file full of proven headlines. That's a great source of inspiration for you when you start brainstorming headlines for your next sales letter. That's it for this time. Before you go, be sure to swing over to the recommended resources section of this site, where you'll find some advanced copywriting training and other tools. Check them out. Okay, so you know our copywriting friend ADA, which stands for Attention, Interest, Desire, and Action. Your headline is geared towards getting attention. If it does a good job, your prospects are going to give you a few more seconds of their time. That's why the opener of your sales letter or sales video now needs to work hard to capture and keep your prospect's interest. So let's talk about the different ways to do that. The first way to grab your prospect's interest is by making it all about them, their problems, their pain, and their solutions. Truth is, your entire letter should be 100% oriented towards your reader or viewer. You want your prospect to feel like you're speaking directly to them. You want them to feel like you wrote this letter just for them. So what you can do to capture your prospect's interest is empathize with them. Show them you truly understand their problem, and even go as far as to agitate or intensify this problem. You want them to immediately recognize that they have this problem. Let me explain. A lot of sales letters open by revealing the solution, but that's a bit like putting the cart before the horse. Before you can reveal a solution, you first need to spell out the problem. That means listing the signs and symptoms of the problem. So let me give you an example. Let's suppose you're selling a traffic generation course. Your prospect's problem is that they're not getting enough traffic. So you can open your letter by specifically asking them to self-identify. Here's how to do this by asking a series of questions. Are your traffic logs flat? Are you having trouble building a list? Are you frustrated because a lack of traffic is creating cash flow problems in your business? That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is by listing these problems and including the reader in the group of people who are experiencing these problems. For example, if you're like a lot of online marketers I talk to, your traffic logs are looking dismally flat. You can't seem to build a decent-sized mailing list, and you're feeling frustrated because a lack of traffic is creating a serious cash flow problem in your business. See how that works? It's totally about the prospect and his problems. If you've done a good job tuning into his emotions and listing the signs of the problem, you can bet you'll have his rapt attention. One more bit of advice. If you can find a reason why this prospect's problems are not his fault, you'll be golden. You see, your prospect doesn't want to feel bad about himself, so he's looking to pin the blame on someone else. If you can find a scapegoat, then you'll have the prospect's attention. Quick example of this. Right now it's really popular to tell people who are overweight that it's not their fault. No, they didn't eat too much junk. No, they didn't exercise too little. Instead, advertisers tell prospects the whole thing can be blamed on cortisol, a pesky little hormone that signals the body to store belly fat. And I tell you what, it works. So find your prospects a scapegoat and then present your product as the solution. Next up, the second way to engage and hold interest at the beginning of your sales letter is by telling a story. Telling a good story has a lot of benefits when it comes to copywriting. For starters, stories engage emotions, and as you've already discovered, you need to push those emotional buttons if you want your prospects to push your order button. Secondly, stories totally draw people into your copy. Think of a good novel or a good movie that just sucks you in instantly. You can't stop reading it or watching it. That's what a good story can do for your prospects, too. You'll hook them and hold their attention. Stories also give you a great opportunity to show prospects that you understand their problem. This is hugely important. If it seems like you care and like you understand, you're one step closer to making the sale. Now, your goal is to tell a story about how you or someone else had the exact same problem as the prospect, and how you overcame it using the product or service being sold in the sales letter. What you want to do is make sure the star of your story is very similar to your prospects, at least as far as characteristics that matter. You want your prospects to read the story and totally identify with it. For example, if you have a weight loss program targeting women, then be sure to tell a story about an average woman. Maybe she's in her 30s, she has kids, her life is busier than ladies' night at the most popular bar in town. Her weight goes up, it goes down, and then it goes back up. She's just tired of feeling fat, tired of not fitting into her clothes, and tired of feeling like the stereotypical overweight soccer mom. Get the point? Get your prospects to totally identify with the star of your story, and you'll not only hold your prospects' attention, you'll also be well on your way to making a sale. That's it for this time. Be sure to have a look at the awesome resources listed on this website. You'll find links to advanced copywriting training materials, tools to help you build your business, and a whole lot more. Check it out. So you know a little bit about the AIDA copywriting formula, which stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. Your headline grabs attention. Your opener should seek to capture and hold interest. And then you introduce your product and start building desire for it. How? Simple. By telling your prospects the benefits they'll get when they use your product or service. Now, if you're thinking you'll be stoking some emotion when you share these benefits, you're absolutely right. If you're thinking that adding a pinch of curiosity to these benefits would also be helpful, right again. So, first things first, we need to define the difference between product features and product benefits. Product features are simply the parts of a product. Product benefits are what those features do for the prospect. This distinction is hugely important. That's because a lot of beginning copywriters focus on the features of their product. But you know what happens? Prospects don't always make the logical leap between these features and the benefits of those features. So if you're trying to stoke desire for your product by listing product features only, your conversion rate is going to be flat as a ribbon. So what you need to do is weave together statements that list the feature and the benefit. Now, before we do that, let me tell you that the first benefit of a feature isn't always the ultimate benefit. What you need to do is drill down by playing the so what game. Here's how you do it. You name the feature and then ask yourself, so what? You name the benefit of this feature and then again ask yourself, so what? You ask this question at least 2 or 3 times to get to the ultimate benefit. Let me give you an example. A feature of toothpaste is that it includes abrasive ingredients. So what? The benefit of these abrasive ingredients is that they gently remove stains. So what? Removing stains whitens teeth. So what? Whiter teeth create a more attractive smile. So what? A more attractive smile makes you feel better, more beautiful, and more confident. See how that works? Now, let's weave this together into one succinct benefit statement that you can add to a bulleted list. Gentle ingredients polish away stains to give you whiter teeth, an attractive smile, and a whole new level of confidence. Pretty slick, right? The next bulleted benefit list strategy is to try to arouse curiosity whenever possible. The idea is to create an itch that your prospects can only scratch by purchasing your product. You can do this by mentioning a benefit, but leaving some mystery about how your user will receive that benefit. Take a look at this example. You'll find out how to get 50,000 ultra-targeted leads fast without spending a single penny in advertising. Now that sort of statement is bound to arouse any serious marketer's curiosity. Most marketers know to get fast traffic, you probably need to cough up some money. So you can bet they'll be super curious, maybe even curious enough to purchase the product and find out. Here's another tip. If you're selling an information product like an ebook or a video, let prospects know where they can find this information. In other words, list the page number or other relevant information right next to the benefit to arouse curiosity and build anticipation. Here are two examples of ways to take this info on at the end of a product statement. See page 52, or you'll get the shocking details on page 79. Another way to arouse curiosity is to use phrases that naturally stoke curiosity. Let me give you a few examples. Let's suppose you're selling a weight loss guide. Some of your benefits might look like this. You'll discover which common household items help you melt fat like crazy. Page 14 holds the answer. You'll find out the surprising trick Hollywood celebrities do when they need to drop weight fast. See page 24. You'll learn the 2,000-year-old metabolism-boosting supplement that you've never heard of until today. This is going to surprise you. Basically, what you're doing here is suggesting that your product has a secret, and that your prospects will finally get to know this secret too if they buy your product. Words like trick, surprising, and secret really boost the curiosity-arousing power of your benefit statements. So maybe you're wondering, how do you arouse curiosity about a product that's not an information product? For example, how do you arouse curiosity about a pair of shoes? Well, the trick here is that you need to arouse curiosity about how the product feels or performs. Your ad is going to provide pics, videos, and tons of description about every tangible feature and benefit of the product, but you can arouse curiosity about the intangible, the thing that simply can't be explained as it must only be experienced. Let's go back to the shoe example. You can say something like, you don't know what walking on a cloud feels like until you slip on these amazing shoes. You've never felt anything like this before. See how that works? You can certainly tell people the shoe is comfortable, but at the same time, you arouse curiosity about just how comfortable it is. So that's it for this time. As usual, I suggest you head over to the recommended resources section of this site to check out the advanced copywriting training and other tools available. You'll be glad you did. So imagine this. You've created this awesome sales letter that virtually whipped your prospects into a frenzy. So now all you have to do is drop an order button in front of them and you're good to go, right? Well, not quite. Just between you and I, let me tell you that prospects can be a little weird. They can totally agree with you that your product looks pretty good, but if you don't take them by the hand and tell them what to do, they won't do it. In other words, you need to create a call to action where you specifically tell people to click the order button to get started. It almost defies logic, and yet marketers have studied this for dozens of years. For example, ever listen to a TV commercial where the announcer repeats the telephone number multiple times and then says, "Call now"? Turns out conversion rates are much higher when the ad actually includes the "call now" phrase versus just saying the phone number. Point is, a good call to action can make a huge difference in your conversion rate. So the question is, what makes a good call to action? That's what you're going to find out in this video, so kick back, get comfortable, and prepare to find out how to craft epic calls to action. Now, there are two parts to a good call to action. The first part is where you specifically tell people what you want them to do. The second part of the call to action is where you give them a good reason to take that action right now. Let's start with the first part. Pretty much any piece of content you create should have a call to action. Examples of common calls to action include clicking a link, filling out an order form, picking up the phone to place an order, sending an email, sharing the content, taking action on the advice given within the content. reading another article or viewing another video, and so on. For the purposes of this video, we're going to focus on calls to action at the bottom of a sales letter. So what you say in your call to action depends, of course, on what your prospects need to do to order. Most commonly, this means clicking a link to go to the order form. Let me give you a few examples of what your call to action might look like. Example 1. Take out your credit card and click here to order now. Example 2. Fill out the form below now to get started with your order. Example 3. Get your credit card and then click here to fill out the order form. You get the idea. In all cases, you can see the CTAs are very specific about what the prospect needs to do. Now, the second part of your call to action is that you need to give your prospects a good reason why they should take the action right now. You see, here's the thing. Your prospects have the attention span of a gnat. If you let them leave your sales page without ordering, then you may have lost them forever. You know why? Because all that emotion you stirred up in your sales letter is going to start fading away like smoke in the wind the second your prospect leaves your sales letter. Suddenly, your prospects really don't want your product all that much anymore. They make a half-hearted intention to return to your sales page one day, but then they never do. Life gets in the way. They totally forget about you and your product. That kinda sucks, huh? So now you can see why it's so important to give them a good reason to order right now. In other words, you need to create a sense of urgency. One way to create this sense of urgency is by making the offer scarce. For example, you might be selling a limited number of seats to a webinar, so if the prospect doesn't order now, they may miss out. Fear of missing out is a powerful thing. Your call to action in this case might look something like this. Take out your credit card and click here to get started. And do it now, before the last 28 seats are gone and you miss out forever. Another way to create a sense of urgency is to make some other part of the offer scarce, such as by offering a limited bonus. For example, get out your credit card and click here to place your order now. If you're one of the next 64 people to order now, you'll also get the advanced training videos absolutely free. But hurry, this offer closes soon. Another method to create scarcity is to offer a limited time discount. For example, click here to place your order and do it now because this special 40% discount ends soon. While we're on the topic of a limited time discount, let me toss an extra tip at you. Use countdown timers on your sales pages. A good countdown creates visual scarcity, which can really get people hustling to the order button. And if you don't know how to create a countdown timer, no problem. Just use the Countdown Monkey app. Check the recommended resources section of this site for more information about this slick tool. So, what happens if the offer isn't scarce and you're not offering any limited bonuses or discounts? In that case, you may introduce a little fear by reminding people of what will happen if they do not order. Remind them of their pain. For example, listen, if you don't do anything today, then nothing is going to change. Tomorrow you'll wake up and still hate looking in the mirror. Your favorite clothes still won't fit. You'll still be embarrassed by your weight. Or you can do something about it right now. You can take the first step of your weight loss journey by taking out your credit card and clicking here to get started. The choice is yours. Stay unhappy or make a change. So there you have it. Now you know how to create a two-part call to action. Part 1 tells people what to do, and Part 2 tells people why they should do it right now. That's it for this time. Before you go, be sure to check out the Countdown Monkey app in the recommended resources. I think you'll be impressed with this tool, so check it out now. Imagine this. Your prospect is reading your sales letter. He's getting pretty excited about your product. You've done a really good job of whipping him into a buying frenzy. He's hovering over the order button, he's ready to click, and then he leans back in his chair. His brows furrow. He shakes his head a little, and then he clicks off the page. Forever. Whoops. Sales letter fail. What happened? What made the prospect go from getting ready to order to abandoning the sales page? Tell you what. Every time your prospect is reading your sales letter, there's a little voice niggling at him in the back of his head. That little voice is saying, "This sounds great, but it won't work for you." You see, your prospect has been burned a few times in the past by other marketers. Those other marketers have made bold claims that weren't entirely true. The prospect purchased the product didn't work, and the buyer felt burned, cheated, and scammed. You can bet those wounds stay pretty fresh, even as they're reading your sales letter. So what's the solution? You need to reverse the risk. Instead of making your customer take this huge gamble on whether your product is really going to work or not, you should shoulder the risk. How? By offering a money-back guarantee. Yep, it's really that simple. If you offer a strong guarantee, you'll boost your conversion rate. Now let me share with you the keys to creating a strong money-back guarantee. The first key is to make your guarantee unconditional. If your goal is to boost your conversion rate, then create an unconditional money-back guarantee. This means your customer doesn't have to jump through hoops. They don't have to prove anything. They don't have to provide some documentation showing that your product didn't work. All they have to do is request a refund and they'll get it. If it's a physical product, they'll get the refund just as soon as they ship it back to you. Simple, right? Now, having said that, sometimes marketers offer a dual guarantee which can boost conversions even further. The first part of the guarantee is the unconditional money-back guarantee. If people are unsatisfied for any reason, they'll get a full and prompt refund. The second part of the guarantee might be a double your money back guarantee. This second part is usually conditional, meaning the person needs to jump through some hoops in order to get double their money back. For example, maybe you're selling a course on how to drive traffic using the Facebook paid advertising platform. You might require customers to provide you with their campaign info and receipts before you honor this particular guarantee. If people simply want their money back without hoops, they can request the unconditional guarantee instead. Next up, the second key to creating a strong guarantee is to offer a long time period. Plenty of marketers have tested different guarantee lengths, and they found that short guarantee periods tend to produce higher refund rates. It's pretty simple to see why. Let's suppose you're selling a set of videos and you offer a 1-week guarantee. Suddenly it's 4 or 5 days later and the customer panics because the expiration is coming. But they haven't had a chance to review the videos yet. So what do? Yep, you got it. They ask for a refund. It's a way to protect themselves. Now, when you extend that guarantee to a month long, 3 months long, or a year long, you're going to have lower refund rates. People will have plenty of time to use your product, so they're not going to panic and request refunds in a few days. The third key to a strong guarantee is to state the obvious. If you're selling digital goods that can't be deactivated or returned, then it's obvious that technically a customer can keep the product even if they ask for a refund. So guess what? A few marketers have tested this out, and they've received higher conversion rates and lower refund rates by stating that customers can keep the product even if they request a refund. So now here's the question of the hour. Will these same tactics work for you? The answer is yep. However, you need to test your guarantees and track how they affect refund rates and conversion rates. Test the wording. Test the actual terms of the policy, such as a guarantee length. For example, maybe you'll find that a 90-day guarantee boosts conversions and lowers refunds just as well as a 4, 5, or 6-month guarantee. Test it and see. Now let me close with a simple example. Take a look. Your satisfaction is 100% guaranteed. Download this video today, watch it as many times as you like, and put every tip and trick to work for you for a full 90 days. If you're unsatisfied for any reason, simply email me for a full and prompt refund. No quibbles, no hoops to jump through, no questions asked. So order now, risk-free. That's it for this time. Be sure to check out the recommended resources section of this site to get links to advanced training on this topic, plus links to some other really great tools to help you build your business. I hate to break it to you, but a lot of your prospects think you're a big fat liar. Shocking, right? But it's not personal. Heck, they don't even know you. It's just that they've been burned so many times before. It's pretty much gotten to the point where they don't believe anything a marketer says. I guess it's like the old joke. How do you know if a marketer is lying? Answer? His lips are moving. So yeah, that's a joke, but a whole bunch of your prospects think that's pretty much true. This is a big problem for you. If your prospects don't believe you, then they're not going to buy your product. Now, there are ways to help build your credibility and believability. We'll talk about these elsewhere. For this video, I'm going to introduce one very specific solution, and that's to provide proof of your claims. Now, there are two main types of proof. The first type of proof is any sort of evidence that you personally provide to show that what you say is true. The second type of proof is what other people provide to back up your claims. This is called social proof. Spoiler alert, social proof tends to have a more positive impact. It's pretty obvious why, right? Your prospects have that sneaky little suspicion that you're lying, so they're not going to fully trust your proof either, especially if it's proof that can easily be doctored. For example, a screenshot showing PayPal deposits or traffic logs isn't going to have your savviest prospects falling all over your payment button. That's not irrefutable proof in these times when everyone and their brother knows how to Photoshop a screenshot. A before and after picture or video tends to be a more believable form of proof. For example, if you're selling a car restoration video, you might show before and after videos of the car. Or if you're selling a weight loss product, you may present before and after pics showing fat loss. Just be sure these pics are dated somehow, such as by holding a well-known newspaper in the photo. Another form of proof that tends to be particularly powerful is anything that someone can verify for themselves. For example, let's suppose you're selling a product about taking a Kindle book to bestseller status. Obviously, you can provide screenshots of the book on a bestseller list, but prospects who are skeptical can certainly verify these facts for themselves. A quick word of warning here. Just because someone can verify the facts for themselves doesn't mean you should tell them to do that. Why? Because anytime you encourage someone to leave your sales page, you're very likely losing a sale. If you're telling people to leave your site and follow a link to a reputable bestseller list or anywhere else, your conversion rate is going to take a big hit. It's going to fall faster than a lead balloon. So the point is, don't create a call to action where you actually tell someone to leave your sales page. Simply providing verifiable proof will help your conversion rate, even if the vast majority of your prospects don't verify it for themselves. So we've talked about videos, photos, and bestseller lists. Depending on what you're selling, you might also prove your claims by showing proof of awards, degrees, or credentials. For example, if you're telling people that you understand psychology because you teach psychology courses at the local university, then you can take a screenshot of the faculty page with your listing. Obviously, this is something people can verify for themselves. Or maybe you're teaching photography and you want to prove that people all over the world think your photos are beautiful. You can provide proof of photo contests that you've won, photos you've sold to major magazines, and other proof that you know as much about taking photos as you say you do. Okay, so that's the sort of proof you can provide yourself. The second type is social proof, which is what others provide for you. This type of proof shows prospects that others are buying your product and getting good results. The most basic proof you can provide here is a testimonial. But don't just slap any old testimonial up on your page. You only want to use your strongest testimonials. These are the testimonials that talk specifically about results or otherwise prove what you say. Now, here's a hot tip for you. Don't just sprinkle testimonials around your page randomly. Instead, place them strategically. When you make a bold claim, back it up by placing a related testimonial. For example, if you make a claim that your low-calorie recipes are so delicious that the whole family will love them, then drop in a couple testimonials that specifically state how kids gobble them up. Another type of social proof you can provide is a case study. This is where you track someone's results for a specific period of time and then provide documentation and proof. For example, you might have one or more people try out a weight loss supplement for 8 weeks and provide you with weekly weigh-ins, measurements, and photos. You can then create a case study with extensive proof. Another type of social proof you can use is when your customers get degrees, awards, or other credentials because of your product. For example, if you're selling that photography course and one of your students starts winning photo awards, that's worth crowing about on your sales letter. Still, another form of social proof is to simply list how many customers you have. You might even have a scrolling marquee in your sidebar that lists the first name and location of people as they sign up. For a good example of this, look to McDonald's. Their ads and signs used to state over 1 billion served. The whole idea is that 1 billion people can't be wrong, so McDonald's must be good. That's social proof in action, and you can do the same thing to boost your conversion rates too. So that's it for this time. The bottom line here is to introduce strong forms of proof to back up your claims on the sales page. This should include proof you provide as well as social proof. Now, before you mosey off, let me direct you to the recommended resources section of this site. You'll find even more awesome training links on this topic, plus tools you can use to grow your business. Check it out. You know that little PS you see at the bottom of sales letters? The postscript? Yeah, that thing. Seems kind of like an afterthought. Sort of like, oh hey, here's one more place to persuade you to buy my stuff. So here's the thing. Because it seems like such a trivial little thing, just a couple lines shoved down at the bottom of a letter, a lot of marketers don't put too much time or care into crafting their PS. You know what? That's a huge mistake. You see, your PS is one of the most important parts of your sales copy. That's because it's read more than almost any other part of the copy, except for the headline. So your PS can really do a whole lot to make or break your conversion rate. Question is, what should you put in your PS? That's exactly what this video is about, so kick back and take a look. The first thing you need to know is that no matter what sort of PS you create, ideally it should include a call to action. In other words, your PS should drop a link and tell people to buy the product. So let's look at some of the ways you can use this important piece of sales real estate. One effective way to use your PS is to remind prospects of your product's biggest benefits. You don't want to necessarily use the exact same benefit you used in the headline. That's because some of your prospects are going to read the headline, then skim straight down to the PS. So for those skimmers, you want to give them some new piece of information, something to gain their interest in what you're offering. Also, you don't need to limit yourself to just one benefit. Your PS can offer a recap of the top benefits. For example, PS, if you're ready to lose weight, feel better, and look 10 years younger, then click here to get the only program that will help you achieve these goals. Next up, the second effective use of your PS is to bring up a benefit you hadn't yet mentioned in the copy. This might be a benefit that appeals to a subset of the population, or you might mention a bonus or discount offer for the first time. For example, PS, I almost forgot. If you order right now, you'll get free access into a private members-only support forum. You can't fail when so many others are cheering you on. So click here to get started now. A third effective use of your PS is to drop some more social proof in front of your prospects. In other words, insert a strong testimonial at the end. For example, PS, Susan from Los Angeles lost 52 pounds and kept it off with this amazing program. Just look what she has to say about it. And then of course you'd insert the testimonial. Next up, a fourth effective way to use your PS is to handle objections. One way to do this is to reiterate your guarantee. This strategy is particularly powerful if you do this alongside a recap of the biggest benefits. It's like saying, hey, this product is the solution to your problems, and if it doesn't work, you'll get your money back. Of course, that's just one type of objection. Your prospects may have other objections, such as the high cost of your product or some other factor. You'll need to figure out what are the most common objections, perhaps by talking to your prospects, and then handle the biggest objections right there in your PS. A fifth effective way to use your PS is to present another clear call to action. Now, you'll notice I said before that no matter how you use your postscript, ideally it should include a call to action. The difference between this PS and the others is that your call to action is the centerpiece of the PS. The idea is to tell people to buy now and then give them a really good reason to do so. This reason might include a limited time discount or a limited time bonus offer. For example, PS, remember if you act now, you can save $50. This special won't last long, so click here to order now. Another way to create urgency in the PS is by stoking a bit of fear about what might happen if they don't take action. For example, just look at the way insurance companies urge you to buy insurance. They get you imagining that your whole house is going to burn down, and you'll be left destitute and homeless. A PS on an insurance sales letter might look something like this. PS. It's frightening to imagine the fire alarm going off in the middle of the night. You gather up your family, you're safe. But you watch as everything you own burns to the ground. Many people never recover from something like this. Buy yourself peace of mind by clicking here now. Protect your family, protect yourself. Order now. So that's it for this time. Be sure to check out the recommended resources section to get links to advanced training and a variety of tools to help you grow your business. When you think of a sales copy, you might envision one of those sales letters that goes on and on forever. But you know what? Good copy can come in small packages. That's why you'll want to consider the short-form sales letter as an alternative to the long-form sales letter. Now, you might be wondering how long or short any piece of copy should be. And the answer is, long enough to cover the important bits, but short enough to hold attention. Partly it's going to depend on what you're selling. Partly it's going to depend on your audience. For example, if you're selling a big home study course with all sorts of pieces and parts, then you're going to end up with a longer letter just because you need to share the benefits of all those pieces and parts. On the other hand, if you're selling a short report, then obviously you can get away with much shorter copy. Another example of where you'll need longer copy is if you need to educate your prospects a bit about your product. In other words, maybe you have a solution that the average prospect doesn't know much about. This happens a lot when people are pioneers and innovators in their field. Just think of how the internet created the need for a whole lot of tools that never even existed before. I'm talking tools like social media platforms, autoresponders, e-commerce platforms, blogs, and other content management systems, and so much more. Tell you what, the first person who ever tried to sell autoresponder services and scripts online certainly had their work cut out for them. They had to use long-form copy to explain why people needed autoresponders and how autoresponders work. Today, most every marketer and even the average Joe on the street has some familiarity with autoresponders and email service providers. Now, marketers who offer these services don't need 10 minutes to explain why their prospects need the solution. Instead, they can use much shorter copy because their prospects are already informed about how the services work. The vendor just needs to differentiate his services from all the other competitors. Another instance where you might use short copy is if you've got an easy-to-explain product like a tripwire product and an audience with a short attention span. Here's an example. Let's say you're using a tool like Catch-A-Monkey to redirect your exit traffic to a special offer before they leave your page. Think about it. These folks were on their way out your virtual door when you grabbed them by the shirt collar and put an offer in front of them. You've already pretty much lost their attention. They're thinking about running off to Facebook to post a selfie and play Candy Crush. So you have like a millisecond to regain their attention and sell them something. You can see where this is going. Short form copy. No long-winded sales letter in this case. Another good time to use short form copy is on your lead pages. This is where you persuade people to exchange their email addresses for a really enticing product. If you can grab attention with a really big benefit or two and follow it with a strong call to action, you can generate a good response rate. Still, another good time to use short form copy is on an upsell or a one-time offer on the order form. Your customer is already in the buying mood, so you don't need to whip them into another emotional frenzy. You just need to tell them how the upsell product will make their lives better. So what you want to do is really think about your offer, the traffic source, and your audience. This will help you determine whether you can use short-form copy. No matter what you choose, though, it's always a good idea to thoroughly test your sales copy to figure out what produces the best conversions. Okay, so what is short-form copy exactly? What does it look like? Obviously, this is going to vary a bit depending on what you're selling and to whom. But generally, short-form copy can simply include the following pieces. The headline, which should put your biggest benefits front and center. A 1 or 2 sentence opener. This opener may briefly describe the problem and then introduce your product as the solution. A list of 4 to 6 benefits. Here's where you answer the prospect's question, what's in it for me? And a strong call to action. Tell people what they need to do to order and give them a good reason to take action right now. The main point here is that you focus entirely on the benefits of your solution. And you do this as succinctly as possible. This means you don't open up with a long story to draw the reader in. You don't list 24 benefits. You don't spend 2 paragraphs justifying the price or overcoming objections. You don't even necessarily provide any proof, such as testimonials. You approach this piece of copy knowing that your prospect is already looking for this solution. So then you tell the prospect why they should buy this product right now. Now, there are a couple marketers by the names of Jeremy Gislason and Simon Hodgkinson who are really good at using short-form copy. They use it to sell tripwire products, sell enticing offers to exiting traffic, and to build their lists with lead magnets. You can see examples of how they use short-form copy by going to landingpagemonkey.com and scrolling down to the demo section. There you'll see some great examples of highly polished lead pages and product pages using short-form copy for maximum results. Check it out. It's a great lesson in how to write high-impact copy. Most of the time when people think about sales copy, they picture text. I'm talking all text lead pages, sales letters, things of that sort. But here's something to consider. People who use video sales letters or video sales letters on top of traditional text sales letters are seeing big boosts to their conversion rates. Right at this moment, marketers are testing their videos against long-form sales copy, and good videos can outperform traditional sales letters by as much as 300%. Of course, the key word is good. You can't just toss a video up on your page and expect your website to start spewing cash like a broken ATM. You need an entertaining video that draws people in, holds their attention, and then shows them why your product is the best thing since sliced bread. So let me share with you a few tips for maximizing your sales video. Tip number 1 is to go pro. Unless you already have some mad video production skills, I suggest you go pro when it comes to a video sales letter. You only have a few seconds to hook your prospects and make a great first impression. If you don't have the video skills to create something that's impressive and highly polished, then hire someone to do it for you. Tip number 2 is to combine text and video. There are a couple different ways to do this. One method is to include both a text sales letter and video sales letter on your page. This gives your prospect a choice of whether to get the info by reading the letter or watching the video. In this case, the text and video are redundant. Your prospect only needs to look at one or the other to get the scoop on your product. The second method is to make the video the centerpiece of your sales page. The text portion of your sales page would just hit the highlights, such as the benefits along with the call to action. The video would do most of the heavy lifting in terms of persuading people to buy. The third method is to have a full text sales letter with a short video on the page. In this case, the short video would hit the highlights, meaning focus on the benefits of your offer and provide a strong call to action. Those are 3 ways to do it. You can create your own combination of video and text. Just be sure to test and track your sales pages to see what puts the most money in your pocket. Next up, tip 3 is to follow a proven formula. There are 1,000,001 other things, all vying for your prospect's attention. That's why your sales letter needs to start off with a bang to get their attention, and then very quickly move them towards the order button. So let me give you a quick 5-step formula for creating a great video sales letter. Step 1 is to drop a shocking, attention-getting statement right up front. You need to grab your prospects by the shirt collar and give them a good virtual shake. Shock them, scare them, make them sit up and take notice. Just make sure your shocking statement is relevant to your offer. Next, step 2 is to identify the problem. Now that you have your prospect's attention, you need to hold their interest. Make it clear you're talking about them. Talk about the problem. List the signs and symptoms of the problem. Make your viewers step forward, raise their hand, and say, "Yes, that's me. I have that problem." And then, step 3 is to agitate the problem. This is where you make it hurt a little. Tell your prospects just how bad their problem is. Remind them of their pain. Make it sting. And just when they're starting to feel it, then you go to the next step. Step 4 is to introduce your offer as the solution. This is where you offer your prospects a clear path to relief. You introduce your product or service as the solution, and then you list all the reasons why this offer totally rocks. You let prospects know why it's better than any solution out there on the market. You tell prospects why they need it. In short, this is the part of the video where you list all your product's benefits. For an extra kick, try to make your prospects curious about how they'll get those benefits. If you can create a little aura of mystery around some parts of your product, your prospects will want to buy it just to satisfy the curiosity. And finally, step 5 is to provide a strong call to action. This is where you specifically tell people to place their order, you tell them how to do it, and you give them a reason why they should order right now. In other words, create a sense of urgency around ordering. Which brings us to the last tip. Tip number 4 is to avoid getting too specific about the offer. Making changes to a text sales letter is super easy. You just make the change and upload the new version. It takes about a minute. Making changes to a video sales letter is a whole other thing. You might need to re-script and reshoot the video. This costs time and money, and it can get expensive really fast if you're testing and tracking changes to your offer. So that's a good reason to be vague about the details within the actual video itself. For example, while you can certainly talk about what a great deal it is, don't mention the price. Do that down below the video in the text portion of your sales page. That gives you the freedom to easily test and track prices. Another example, don't mention bonuses in your video. Or at least don't mention the specifics. Instead, direct people to see the bonuses on the sales page below the video. Once again, this frees you up to test a variety of bonuses. So that's it for this time. Now before you go, you'll want to check out the recommended resources section of this website. In particular, you'll want to take a look at Landing Page Monkey. That's a web-based app that helps you create beautiful, highly polished lead pages and sales pages, even if you don't know a lick about design. Best of all, Landing Page Monkey makes it easy for you to insert a video on your sales page. No coding skills required. So check it out because it's a super fast and easy way to get your video sales page up and running.